Dear investors, welcome back to a new training. This time it's a training related to value investing, but more specifically how to leverage Vinley AI, which is in fact the application that we have created as value investors, first of all for ourselves, but also for other value investors across the world. So it's an update of the former training that was speaking about VinGPT. So the objective, as I said, of this training is really to introduce you to Vinley AI, which is this AI-powered platform for value investors. And so just one note of caution, this is not a detailed training on value investing. So of course, I will speak about value investing. I will show you how to execute a full investment process. At least as I am doing it in Vinley AI. But if you really want to go into the details of value investing, I will really recommend you to take the training, The Art of Value Investing. This is really just a less than 2 hours training just to introduce you to Vinley AI and support you in using and leveraging Vinley AI as a powerful value investing tool. And always, of course, things that I'm speaking about here may change and evolve as we, of course, continuously developing the roadmap of Vinley AI. So in terms of first chapter, I want to introduce you to Vinley AI, where I'm coming from with my co-founder Adriano about this, and then also how to prompt large language models and also how to navigate in Vinley. Because what I already said is that Vinley AI compared to VinGPT, we have had hundreds and hundreds of students who just took the specific training on VinGPT. VinGPT was a custom GPT built on OpenAI. Vinley is actually has a user interface which allows you to have portfolios, watch list, throw prompts. I'm going to be showing this to you. Show prompts, pre-programmed prompts to the AI, but it has also the AI companion. So we are trying to have best of both worlds. So introducing you to Vinley AI. Before doing that, I think it's important that you understand what is my journey. So I've been starting to act as a value investor 27 years ago already. That doesn't make me much younger when I say this. And with the luck, I feel very lucky that in 2022, I could just stop working from my daily job. And at that time, actually, and still today, I only live and our family budget is purely covered by the dividends that come through our value investing portfolio. The journey started in 1999, and if I can summarize really the people who have inspired and influenced me, these are the 5 people. The first one is Ben Graham, who has been the tutor of Warren Buffett. So Ben Graham, I learned through his book, The Intelligent Investor, how to, at least from a relative valuation perspective, how to find cheap companies. What Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger have added to this, and as I said, Warren Buffett has been a student of Ben Graham, I think it was at Columbia University, if I'm not mistaken. So Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger have taught me through the annual shareholder meetings, through the books, etc., podcasts, how to perform an intrinsic valuation and also how to look at strategic moats of companies. So the moat is really the competitive advantage that a company has. Peter Lynch was for me very interesting because he also taught me how to look at undervalued companies, specifically when markets are emotional. And Oswald de Moderan, I consider him as a leading valuation expert. So he is from New York University Stern School of Business. And I've been through his couple of books really going into the mathematics of valuation, and that helped me a lot to really figure out what are the right methods, the right vocabulary. So I'm very happy that Oswald de Moderan has been also an inspiration for me on this. The challenges that I faced during my 27-year journey, there have been many, in fact. The first one, because I started before 1999 investing into stock markets, but I didn't know how to invest. So it's really in 1999 when I started to invest as a value investor. So at that time, I realized that I didn't know how to value a company. So when the market is giving you a share price, is that a fair price or is it not a fair price? Is the market overreacting and really the market is hot, as we say, so the price is totally exaggerated? Or is the market really emotional and you can buy the company at a bargain? So that's the type of thing where I was struggling to have clear and easy answers when I started as a value investor. Also how to calculate intrinsic value. A lot of people, when they hear the term intrinsic value, they always come up with a method of discounted cash flow. So that's, I mean, a lot of people use Excel files for this, and in Excel files, you know that you can be wrong. You will have to go into financial reports to extract values and feed them as variables into the Excel file. And that was always taking me like a 2-hour process for one company. But if you have 15 companies in your portfolio and doing this on a quarterly basis, that's just, I mean, a lot of time. So this, in my opinion, there should be a method to make this much more productive and much more efficient. Which cost of capital, so which discount rate to use. I saw analyst reports, will not disclose which companies, investment companies, I saw those reports, but also websites like Morningstar, where they give you a buy-sell recommendation, but it's a black box assumption model. You have no clue how do they value the company, what are the underlying assumptions, which for me creates a lack of transparency and explainability. And then also as I'm a business person as well. I like to invest into companies where I understand the business of the companies, and amongst the metrics that I look also at companies is, amongst others, is it a strong brand? What are customers and employees saying about the company? And those were things where I had probably at that time, before we started the whole Vinley project, probably 6, 7, 8 websites I had to go to. So we try to consolidate in Vinley.ai under one single website. And then last but not least, I mean, when I say this, a lot of people tend to smile, but I do like to read financial reports, but sometimes they are long and too complex. So we try to also to support through an AI companion, the analysis of financial reports. And it's just the beginning what we currently have in Vinley.ai. We will be developing much more things here. So as I said, from WinGPT to Vinley.ai, we started the project with my co-founder Adrian in November 2023. We launched WinGPT, the first version, in May 2024 as a custom GPT on the OpenAI store. But what we were lacking is a couple of things. First of all, there was no contextual memory. So users, I mean, if you would have a portfolio, I do have a portfolio with rough cut 15 companies. I don't want each time to have to re-explain to the GPT what is my portfolio. Second thing, it was only prompting, and I believe that I agree that those large language models like Anthropic and ChatGPT are very useful. Absolutely, I'm using them as well. But at the same time, it's just prompting, and I believe that there are things specifically in an investment process that can be much more efficient by having also a user interface that is complemented by an AI agent. Also, the quality of results was partially relying on the quality of the prompts. I mean, we observed this from our users in the first version in WinGPT before Vinley.ai, because we saw that, I mean, and that's okay. I mean, I have a tendency to, because I also did prompt engineering courses, to try to be specific when I write prompts, but a lot of people don't know exactly how to write prompts, at least today in 2026. So this is also a reason why we said, well, maybe we can create in Vinley.ai, we can actually send prompts to the AI agent, but the prompts are already pre-written by us. I'm going to show you how this works in Vinley.ai. And then also what we observed in ChatGPT, or specifically in WinGPT, that with the underlying AI sub-processing engine, so after the models 5.1, 5.2, we had what is called prompt drifting. We'll not go now into AI conversations, but we were seeing that the prompts were just, so the same prompts, depending on the model that the users was choosing, was not providing reliable results. So that was also one of the reasons why we started actually. So we are now, I'm recording this mid-March 2026. And so we started actually in the summer 2025 to build this so Vinley.ai, what will be launching now in a couple of hours. So basically Vinley.ai is WinGPT on steroids. So it's an enhanced AI companion. I will show you the differences. We have pre-programmed it with also prompts. You have AI helpers as well that you can throw at the AI companion. And we tried really to build a visual interface that is also nice and that can help investors in their investment journey. So I will not go into the details. I mean, you will have, you can download these slides as well on the various platforms. So there's nothing secret here. But I mean, of course, we do use curated data brokers. So we do not rely on ChatGPT or Anthropic for the data points. We have first of all, data points that we curate from our own data brokers, amongst others, FMP in Canada, New York University, Interbrand comparably. There is an SEC API. We are connected directly and registered with the US Federal Reserve as well. We have now in Vinley.ai already first version where we are connected with CoinMarketCap for crypto assets as well, because crypto assets will come very, very soon. In Vinley 1.2, you're gonna even be able to have crypto assets in your portfolio. So we are working on this. We intend also to add compliance elements like ESG, sanctions, international reports, also European and Asia macro indicators, not just US Fed macro indicators. So a lot of things that are happening there. In terms of curated knowledge, so in the meantime, we are at 180 pages of our own knowledge that we have written, every single word. That includes also rough cut 20 pages of crypto knowledge. We have added specific books. So yes, you have access to the Intelligent Investor book of 1929. There are some interesting research papers as well, public research papers. You have the IFRS, US GAAP references. So we are feeding with curated knowledge also Vinley.ai. So there are a lot of things actually that are much, much better than what we had in the previous version, which was VinCGPT. You have a lot of functions. We were limited in VinCGPT. We only had 30 functions. Now we have 107 different functions, including forensic accounting analysis that does not exist in VinCGPT. It's existing now in Vinley.ai. We'll show you how this looks like in a typical investment process. You have portfolio watch list screeners. You have even a personal calendar. I use this in Vinley now because I have my own portfolio of 15 companies. I want to know when is the next earnings of my company, when is the next dividend coming up. So this is something I have also in my personal calendar in Vinley.ai. And as said, so our scope has not changed. So we are now at 60 global stock markets that are covered, rough cut 38,000 stocks, 10,000 ETFs. And we have the first crypto assets that can be analyzed, but they're for the time being not visible yet in the portfolio. So when you search for them, you will not find them, but you can ask the AI companion to perform, for example, analysis of Bitcoin or Ripple or Ethereum, for example. So one thing that I would like always to remind people when we speak about Vinley.ai is that Vinley.ai is a specialized AI model. So it has been trained by us. So there is curated data points, there is curated knowledge, curated processes. And of course, it's a curated interface, right? So this is really something different than, for example, when you use a general AI model like ChatGPT or Anthropic. So this is very broad knowledge. They have general data. I have seen for some of them, and it's not a criticism that I'm expressing here, some of them, they just search websites and then they just provide the results of the website. So, and this creates, for example, when you try to calculate the intrinsic valuation of a company, this creates risks because, as I always say when I do public conferences about Vinley.ai or even VinCGPT before, if the AI is telling me that the intrinsic value of Coca-Cola is between $10 and $180, that doesn't help me, okay? I mean, that is worthless for me. What I need to know is more or less what is the interval, I'm just saying now, maybe between 65 and 69 US dollars for Coca-Cola. That is helpful. So that's why also, and I believe then, and there are many also academic studies about this, that the world, and I hope that users will understand that it's better to have a specialized AI than a general or generalist AI. One of the things that I want to address as well is how to prompt large language models. So I won't go too much into the details. I'm going to show you the evolution of what we did in Vinley.ai, but I want to show you nonetheless, or at least create a little bit of awareness around how to prompt in an adequate way an AI model, including Vinley.ai. I mean, what I've learned doing prompt engineering courses as well is that effective prompts, they typically carry two characteristics. The first one is to be correctly formulated and being specific, so as explicit as possible and as implicit. Avoid having implicit prompts, and also give the model time to think, specifically when it is a complex prompt that will require a lot of processing. You have to tell explicitly to the prompt, take your time, do not rush to provide the results, for example. So examples of general knowledge questions could be, what are the main accounting principles? Why is a return on invested capital a good measure of profitability or performance? What is the formula for DDM, for example? So there are general knowledge questions that can be phrased. And I'm going to give a couple of examples. I'm going to give you an average prompt. So for example, here I was using Vinley. So I was using the AI companion of Vinley. I'm not showing yet the whole interface here, where I was asking the model, can you provide me a list of the top 10 stocks by market cap on the New York Stock Exchange that have a PE ratio below 15? Okay. You would say that's already a pretty okay-ish type of prompt. And I'm going to tell you, yes, but it's just average. Why? Because there are a couple of things that are implicit. So what is implicit is that I'm not mentioning that the time element around this. Because here the model may understand that I'm asking for the latest, the most recent top 10 stocks by market cap with a PE below 15 on the New York Stock Exchange. But it could be also that the model would come up with the results of 2024, for example. Because I'm not explicitly mentioning this, there is a risk. Okay, so a better prompt would actually be that you add, so that you add the same prompt, you just add using the latest data. Or you write in March 2026, for example. That will allow the model to be much more explicit what type of data you are actually looking at, and will avoid what is called an hallucination of AI, or at least a result where you are not happy with the results that the AI companion has provided you. So one of the things that we have added to Vinley.ai is, and I'm putting it this way, and I'm saying this very respectfully, and I'm saying this for me because I mean, writing prompts is nice, but sometimes I'm lazy. I just want to have the results of something. So what you will see in the user interface, and this is spread across the whole user interface of Vinley.ai, you're going to be actually having prompts that you can throw at the AI engine without having to write them. Here's an example. So here I want to search for undervalued companies I've selected the New York Stock Exchange. And actually, I have not written the prompt that you see on the right-hand side. I just clicked on search, one of the search arrows here. And with the variables that I wanted to have using the slider, so you see that I'm using the UI, it throws a prompt at the AI engine, and the AI engine comes back with results, for example. And you're going to see this is happening in the screeners page. I will explain later on what are those pages very briefly. So the screeners page is to find undervalued companies using three methods: the Graham ratio method, the enterprise value to EBIT undervaluation method, and the market cap to NCAV undervaluation method. This is the current methods that we currently use. You're going to see the same in the intrinsic evaluation screen, where you can actually send a pre-programmed prompt to Vinley to assess the intrinsic valuation of a company if you would be Warren Buffett, for example. So we have or Peter Lynch or Joel Greenblatt. Those are the current methods that we currently are using. So when you are discussing with an AI agent, so as said, it's important that you write explicit prompts so that prompts are precise. And of course, and this is something that is called disambiguation, so avoiding ambiguity when you are asking about a company. So, for example, if I look at those three prompt examples, perform a fundamental analysis of Hershey. The first thing that Vinley.ai will do is trying to understand who is Hershey. I mean, of course, we have trained that Hershey is probably a company name or an ETF name. So the first thing that Vinley will do is disambiguation. So it will check, does it have Hershey in its investment universe? And maybe if there are multiple results, it will actually ask you which one you want to analyze, because I may have multiple Hersheys in my investment universe. So don't worry, Vinley knows that. If there is just one, it will immediately do the fundamental analysis. The same here, what is the cost of capital for Nike? It will first check what is the ticker of Nike. And I mean, of course, you can be more precise if you just throw the ticker directly at the AI engine. So those are examples and things that the engine will do actually for you. So this is something important when you write an AI model, what is called this disambiguation related to, for example, company names or ETF names. The navigating in Vinley. So as I said earlier, I mean, Vinley is not just an AI companion. It's an AI companion, or it's an app. It's a visual app that is, let's say, enhanced by an AI companion, where VinGPT was just a prompting model. So what you will have in Vinley, you're going to have on the left-hand side, this is what I'm showing you here. So I've just took a part of the Vinley home screen. You will have on the left always this navigation bar available to you, where you're going to have, at least for the time being, we are March 2026, the home analysis screen as calendar. Very rapidly before the summer, we intend to come up with performance, world radar, and mastery. You can read what those modules will do. And so also one thing that is important, in a lot of screens, you will always have your portfolio and watch list available. You just have to click on it and it will run the analysis for you, in fact. So so the intention of this Vinley.ai application enhanced by an AI companion is really to make your life and your investment journey as productive and efficient as possible. What you will see in the interface as well is you're going to see what I call AI helpers. So AI helpers are icons. When you click on it, it will send a prompt to Vinley. Vinley, explain me, for example, relative valuation. You will also have what I was already showing you here on fundamental analysis. You can send a prompt when you click on an arrow in the interface. So you don't have to write the prompt. The Vinley app will write the prompt and send it to the AI agent. You just have to wait for the results and read the results in the AI companion. Also, what you have in some screens, you will actually have the AI agent that is not directly visible, because we felt that on, for example, looking at fundamentals analysis of stocks, that what was on that one more important was really to have the metrics available and a chart, for example. So, but you can always request an AI agent to be popped up by clicking on the third icon that you see on the right here. If I move my mouse, you're probably going to see my mouse moving here. And of course you can then, the AI agent will pop up. You can minimize it, you can maximize it to have the full screen. So play with it and provide us feedback. That will be, of course, very appreciated. But we thought that in some screens it does make sense that we have all the time the AI agent that is visible. So you're going to see this when you're going to be using the interface. So I'm giving you now an example of an AI helper. So this is the intrinsic valuation screen in the, so it's so you see here, I'm here in analysis, I'm going to valuation. So that's the my typical investment process. First fundamentals, then intrinsic valuation, then moat, and then forensic accounting. I will be explaining this in chapter 2 in this training. So here you see, for example, where the red dot is. So I have this AI helper where the label is relative valuation. And here, by clicking on it, it will, I don't have to write it. So yes, it's okay to be lazy. Let's be very honest about this. So it sends a prompt to the AI agent, Vinley, explain me a relative valuation. That's it, basically. Okay, that's what AI helpers are all about. And you're gonna then get the results back from, we have a specific knowledge content for the AI helper. So you're gonna get, this is content that is coming from our own knowledge base that my co-founder Adriano has been actually writing. He has been writing the knowledge base for the AI helpers. Here's another example on the fundamentals. So I'm still in the analysis bench. So you see that's the first subscreen, or let's say first card, which is about fundamental analysis of a stock on ETF. So here I'm on the stock, which is LVMH, luxury group, that I actually disclaim I have that in my portfolio. So I'm just showing you here. And when you click on it here, it will already fetch all the necessary data points. But I'm interested in having the interpretation. How does Vinley assess those fundamentals? I just then have to click here on this arrow. This is a prompt submission icon, and you don't have to write it. It writes it for you. It says perform a fundamental analysis of MC.PA, which is the ticker that I've selected here. And the prompt has been pre-formatted by us, because that's, I would say, our knowledge as also having done prompt engineering courses. So we are setting explicit expectations towards Vinley's AI agent. We are saying perform a fundamental analysis of the ticker, format the output in a markdown table and assess the results. So that's the pre-programmed prompt that we are sending to Vinley, in fact. So you don't have to write it. It's okay to be lazy. I'm sometimes lazy. I just ask Vinley, just by clicking on the prompt, assess me the results of this company. And I think that's okay. So the intention is to make you productive, and that you can really spend more time on your investment decisions than spending time writing prompts. And example of the AI agent. So you see, that's what I was just mentioning a couple of seconds ago. So this is the fundamental screen. So by default, you see here, if you see my mouse moving, the fundamental screens on the right-hand side does not have the AI agent compared to the home screen. But you can, when you click here on the icon, it will actually it will make an AI agent appear, and you can then discuss with Vinley if you have specific questions that are not AI helper related or that you are not sending a specific prompt. And of course, you see it here. I've just maximized it here that you see it. You can, of course, minimize it, create a new chat, or maximize it. So maximizing it means that you're expanding the AI agent to the full screen. And when you minimize it or when you just reduce it, you will be coming back actually to this view. So play with it, provide us feedback. We will appreciate any feedback to make this tool as successful as possible. And voila, that's for chapter number 1. In the next chapter, I will be showing you how I use Vinley to do my investment process for a specific company. So thanks for tuning in, and talk to you in the next chapter. Thank you.